All right, today we are going to learn how to make a crochet chain and then do 3 rows of single crochet. So to start, we need to do a slip knot. There's a couple ways to make slip knots, but this is how I like to do it. And then we're going to take our hook and insert it into that loop and tighten just enough for the loop to be resting comfortably on the hook, but not so tight that it can't move freely. And then we are going to catch the yarn that's wrapped around our pointer finger, index finger, and pull through that loop to then create some stitches. So catch the yarn, pull through, catch the yarn, pull through. And we'll do this until the chain is as long as we'd like our fabric to be. When I'm learning a new stitch, I like to use a chain that's 10, 12, 15 or so stitches long, so that it's long enough for me to be able to see how the fabric will work up, but short enough where I can keep track of the stitches easily and figure out where I've missed stitches So once we have our base chain, we're going to chain 1 as you just saw. And the reason for that is because crochet is kind of like constructing an apartment building. Like you have your ground floor, and then to move up to the next row or the next level, you need to build like a staircase of sorts. So that chain 1 is going to be that staircase. And then we're going to insert our hook into the second stitch on the chain and catch the yarn to have 2 loops on the hook, and then yarn over and pull through to catch and complete that stitch. So into the third loop now, we'll insert the hook, catch the yarn and pull through. We'll have 2 loops, and we're going to catch the yarn and pull through again to complete. And then we'll just continue this process all the way across the row. So we'll insert the hook, catch the yarn, pull through, catch the yarn and pull through again. Single crochet, in my mind, is a way to remind myself that I'm just pulling the yarn through the 2 loops one time to create the stitch and to finish the stitch. So it's a single catch and pull through process. Half double crochet is a little different. Double crochet, you're pulling through twice. And then we get to the last stitch and we'll catch and pull through, and then we've completed our first row. So the first row into the chain, I would say, is the trickiest of all of the rows. So now for the second and onward, all the stitches will be pretty much the same. So we'll do our yarn 1 to create our step up, and then this time when we insert our hook into each of those little spaces or windows, we want to make sure that we are going through we have both pieces of yarn on the top of our hook. So we'll have 1 and 2. And the top of a crochet piece of fabric kind of looks like a braid. And so when we put the hook through, we want to make sure that that both pieces of yarn are above the hook. Now there are variations of this type of, hook insertion as your skills become stronger, but for a basic single crochet, we want to make sure that they're both there. So we'll insert the hook into the window, catch and pull through again. And we'll just keep working across the whole row. Now the last stitch can be kind of hard to see, so I'm going to point it out specifically here for you. Sometimes it kind of rounds down to the left and it can look like it might be part of the previous row, but that's when noticing those 2, that like last little braid section, and also keeping track of the number of stitches that you've worked into already will help keep it nice and even. So now we'll chain 1, turn our work, and we'll continue for 1 more row here. How you hold your hand, or hold the yarn in your left hand, or rather your non-dominant hand, is can be standard, but it can also be very particular. So I like to have the yarn from the ball going across my pinky finger up palm side, behind my middle and ring fingers, and then wrapped around my pointer finger. And having it go through my pinky kind of helps with the flow of the yarn as I'm working through it. And then wrapping it around my pointer finger helps balance the tension a little bit more. Like if the yarn on my hand is getting a little loose, I can pull my pointer finger back to create that increased tension so that my work is nice and even. And there we have 3 rows of single crochet.